Hi everyone, welcome to Object Oriented Programming class. Today we will see about the topic on Introduction to Object Oriented Programming. Before entering into the whoops, we should know how the computer was upgraded in technology wise as well as the programming pattern wise. In technology wise, there are 5 generations are available from first generation to fifth generation. First generation vacuum tubes, second generation technology transistor, third generation IC chips, fourth generation microprocessor, fifth generation artificial intelligence. The main objective of technology upgradation is to reduce the size of the computer. That means storage space of the computer. In the first generation, vacuum tubes occupies a more space. That means the computer size is something like a one hall size. In the second generation, the size may be reduced. The third generation size also reduced. Fourth generation also reduced. In the fifth generation, we are using the laptop and notepad or example for fifth generation computers. That means the size of the computer is reduced from first generation to fifth generation. Another one main objective of the technology upgradation is to increase the speed of the computer. To increase the speed of the computer, the technology upgradation focusing on size of the computer, reduce the size of the computer and increasing the speed of the computer. These two terms were focused in the technology upgradation. At the same time, in programming pattern upgradation, the initial days only the experienced programmer only use the computer. That is, the new user cannot be used the computer. That is, in programming patterns, there are 5 patterns are available. One is machine level language, second one is assembly level language, third one is procedure oriented programming, fourth one object oriented programming, fifth one symbolic programming. In machine level language means only all the codings written using either 0 or 1. That is, 0 or 1 only used for representing inputs and performing the task and completing displaying the output. In the second one is assembly level language. Assembly level language means instead of machine code, one more code was introduced. That code is demonic codes. Demonic codes means also called as the operation code. Then third one, procedure oriented programming. In procedure oriented programming, the entire task is divided into sub small tasks, and each task assigned to one of the functions. That is called as a procedure oriented programming. In fourth one, object oriented programming means here main focus is based on the objects. That means all the real-time entities are called as object. That focus is object-oriented programming. Fifth one is symbolic programming. In symbolic programming, example for symbolic programming is expert systems, natural language programming, gaming programming are example for the symbolic programming. The main objective of upgrading the programming pattern is to increase the user friendliness. In the machine level language, only experienced programmer only use the computer. Nowadays, in symbolic programming, for example, game programming, in small kids also playing the game. That is, the main objective of the programming paradigm is to increase the user friendliness. Now let us see the programming pattern one by one. First one, machine level language programming. It is mainly used from first generation. It is used only in the first generation computer. Here the character set is 1 and 0. By using the numbers 1 and 0, we can represent all the characters, special symbol and operations. That means all the inputs and the processing are represented by only 1s and 0. For example, you are doing one addition operation. Means for addition task, it is a combination of some zeros and 1. For example, 1100 represents addition operation. That means 1100 performing the addition of two data. For example, if you are going to the subtraction operation, 1110 representing the subtraction means you are entering the values 1110 means it is performing the subtraction operations. Then advantages of machine level language programming is high speed, because here all the programs are written in the form of zeros and 1. That is machine code. That means it's a high speed. No need for the compiler and interpreter for convert from the one language to another language. So it's a high speed. No need for compiler and interpreter. Disadvantage is difficult to memorize a machine code. That means only experienced programmer only use the computer. Others cannot use the computer. This is the main drawback in the machine level language programming. Then second one, assembly level language programming. It was used from second generation computer onwards. Here the mnemonic was instead of machine code, in first generation machine codes were used. Instead of machine code, in assembly level language programming, mnemonic codes are used to represent the command sequence. Some of the mnemonic codes: move, call, add, sub, cmp, etc. Here move means move the data from one place to another place. For example, you are typing the command a equal to b, meaning is the content of b move to the content of a. It is represented by the mnemonic code move a comma b. Call means it represents the function. Add means it performs the addition of two values. Sub means it performs the subtraction of two values. CMP means compare the two values. Compared to the machine language, this is relatively easy. Examples: nowadays we are using lot of embedded system, microprocessor, microcontroller uses only assembly level language programming. Then third one, procedure oriented programming. It was used from third generation computer onwards. It's a high level language programming. High level language programming means here all the programs written in the form of English language. Then every language having the compiler or interpreter or assembler. Thus component convert the high level language to machine level language and execute the programs. Here the program structure of procedure oriented programming is given below. That means the whole problems are divided into various segments called the procedure or function. For example, you are going to implement one project, means that project is divided into sub functions. Each sub function assigned to one sub function. The main program coordinate all the sub functions. Here each procedure perform the particular task. The task of correction and updation of each procedure is easy. Then this figure shows the relationship of data and function in procedure oriented programming. Here the entire task is divided into main function and some sub functions. In a multi-function program, many data items are placed as global so that they may be accessed by all the function. For example, in procedure-oriented programming, the data are classified into two groups. One is global data, second one is local data. Global data means the data is accessed by all the functions in the program. Local data accessed by the respective function only. That means each function may have its own local data and access the global data. That means global data accessed by all the functions, local data accessed by the respective function only. Next, characteristics of procedure-oriented programming. Here the importance for doing things, that means importance is given to the algorithms, that is how the algorithm was executed, then its computation time and the storage complexity and the space complexity also considered for procedure-oriented programming. Here the larger programs are divided into small programs known as functions. Most of the functions share the global data. Here the data move freely from one function to another function. Employs top-down approach in program design. Examples of procedure-oriented programming: BASIC, C, Fortran, etc. Then object-oriented programming. It is used from fourth generation computer onwards. It's also a high level language programming. Here the OOPS focusing on the concepts of objects. Here the objects contain data and function. Data is nothing but attributes. Function is nothing but procedure or methods. The object may be a person or things with which the computer deal. For example, I will take one of the real-time example objects. Person, that is human being, is one of object. The attributes of the human are name, Aadhaar number, height, weight, gender, voter ID, then address of the person are example for the attributes. Some of the methods of a person attributes, some of the methods of person are running, walking, eating, sleeping are the example of the methods of the person. The next attributes is next object is a car. I will take the second example for car. Attributes of the car are name, model of the year, registration number, engine number. Next one, number of gears in the car are example for the attributes of the car. Methods of the car are forward driving, reverse driving, changing the gear are example of the methods for the car. Here in OOPS, treat data as a critical element in the program development and the more secured one. Here the main focus is on data. OOPS treat the data as a critical element. Then next one. The organization of data and function in OOPS is shown in figure. Here data of an objects can be accessed only by the functions or method associated with that objects. What is the meaning of this means? Consider this figure. There are three objects are there: object A, object B, object C. Assume that all the objects belong to the human community. That means human beings. So object A is one person, object B is another person, object C is another person. So object A having their own attributes, object B having their own data, object C also having their own data. That means data of an object A accessed by only the function of that object only. Data of an object B accessed by the function of that object only. Data of an object C accessed by the function of that object only. Here the another one is the function of one object can access the function of other objects. That means data of an object accessed by the function of that class, but function may communicate with the other function is also possible. Here characteristics of object-oriented programming. Here the importance is given to the data, not for the algorithm. Here the data is hidden and cannot be accessed by the external functions. Here the programs are divided into objects. Based on the characteristics of objects, data structures are designed. Objects may communicate with each other through functions. New data and functions can be added easily whenever necessary. Follows bottom-up approach in program design. Example C++, Smalltalk, C#, PHP, Java are example for object-oriented programming. Now let us see what's the difference between the top-down approach and the bottom-up approach. In top-down approach, main function is written first and all sub-functions are called from the main function. That means then first we have to main focus on the main function, then we have to focus on the sub-function. In bottom-up approach, code is developed for the modules and then these modules are integrated with the main function. That means main focus on sub-functions. Finally, first complete all the sub-function, then all the sub-functions are integrated with the main function. Then second point, in top-down approach, it begins with the high-level design and ends with the low-level design or development. But in bottom approach, it begins with the low-level design or development and ends with the high-level design. Some of the example for top-down approach is C and Fortran. In bottom approach is C++ and Java. Nowadays, both approaches are combined together and followed in modern software designs. The next comparison between the procedure-oriented programming and object-oriented programming. It is one of the important university question programs. So for procedure-oriented programming and object-oriented programming. In procedure-oriented programming, here the program is divided into small parts called as functions. In OOPS, program is divided into parts called as objects. In procedure-oriented programming, importance is given to the algorithms. Algorithm is sequence of action to be done. Here the importance is given to the data rather than functions, because it work as a real world projects. Then third one, approach. Here POPs follows top-down approach, OOPS follows the bottom approach. Access specifier. In procedure-oriented programming, it does not have any access specifier, but in OOPS it has access specifier named public, private or protected. Data moving. For example, in procedure-oriented programming, data move freely from one function to another function in the system. Here the object communicate with each other through member function. Then expansion. To add the new data and function is very difficult. In OOPS, it provides an easy way to add new data and function. Data access. Most function uses a global data for sharing that can be accessed freely from one function to another function in the system. Here the data cannot be moved easily from function to function. It can be declared with private or protected access specifier. Data hiding. In procedure-oriented programming does not have any proper way for data hiding, so it is less security. In OOPS provides a data hiding, so it provides more security. Overloading. Overloading is possible in the form of function overloading. That means the same function name used for more than one function. In OOPS, overloading is possible in the form of function overloading as well as operator overloading. The function overloading means same function name used for more than one functions. Operator overloading means, for example, you are knowing, all of you know that plus means is addition operator. It performs addition operator. Suppose I want to write the code I want to write the code, same code for plus. Performing subtraction means that is called as a operator overloading. Normally plus operator perform the addition of two values. If I overload the plus operator for performing division operation means that is called as the operator overloading. That means defining an additional task to an existing operator is called as operator overloading. So some of the examples for procedure-oriented programming, C, BASIC and Fortran languages, etc. Object-oriented programming examples are C++, Java, VB.NET, C#.NET, etc. Okay. Now the conclusion. Today we discussed about the evaluation of programming patterns. That is, there are 5 patterns are available. One is machine level language, second one is assembly level language, third one is procedure oriented programming, fourth one is object oriented programming, fifth one is symbolic programming. The main objective of programming pattern is to increase the user friendliness. In the machine level language programming, only the experienced programmer only use the coding. In the last one is anyone can develop the code and execute the code. So thanks for watching.